This is Boxing Tickets NI in association with SB Sports Chaco. We're delighted to join once again. It nearly seems to become a regular occurrence, nearly like a once a month thing. But we're delighted to join once again with Conor Coyle. How are you, mate?
I'm good, mate. Yeah. How are you? How are you?
Still on the buzz, I think, from last week. I just posted there to say we're 7 days past, obviously a massive achievement for obviously Irish boxing recently, and sort of had said as a catchline, never give up on your dreams, sort of no matter what life throws at you. Just keep going.
That's it. Definitely good run for Irish boxing so far.
Unbelievable, you know. And say obviously you're out. We're going to come up to obviously your news. Obviously, you're 7 days out from your next massive fight, but sort of going to come to that. But obviously, I want to first start by obviously saying thankfully, obviously we're glad you're okay. You've obviously had storms and everything else in Florida this week, and I guess the storm's coming next week when Conor Coyle goes to London.
Yeah, I'll be bringing the storm to London.
Definitely will. But like you're only 2 weeks past. You know, your 17th pro fight. Obviously, you fought Silveira Ortiz. Obviously in Florida as well. Obviously, it seems on paper as if it was a routine one. But at what stage did you know you had the cash fight? Was it sort of having to protect yourself, I guess, from cuts and everything else? That even though it looks routine on paper, it was probably hard to navigate around the fight.
Yeah, we had to make a decision that week before I fought Ortiz if we wanted the fight, because originally it was supposed to be October 29th. So I agreed to that date, but then it got pushed forward to October 8th. So we had to make a decision. Is it going to be the right move after having a fight already lined up for that weekend? So I just says, yeah, well, I told my coach, take the fight, let's do it, and I'll just make sure I'll do my best to make sure I don't come out with any injuries, and I'll just make sure all my punches are accurate and not throwing anything wild or stupid. Make sure when I'm throwing, I'm landing, and that's exactly what I did. I get over the 8 rounds, just boxing lovely, you know, nice footwork, and just landing the punches wherever I wanted to land them, and just not doing anything reckless or stupid, just a chance an injury, you know. So we're grateful for that, and obviously I knew the cash fight was coming, so I had to just be cautious.
I guess it's something you were well used to in amateur boxing as well. Obviously, you know, cuts were obviously a massive thing with that, you know, at times, or injuries that rule you out in the next contest. So you've been well used to that from the amateur code. But I guess, you know, it's next Saturday's obviously life-changing for you. I was sort of joking to you before we started there and saying you would do anything to sort of get a free ticket to the big one next week. But what a massive opportunity for you. I guess you probably really haven't the time to sort of sit down and think about it and sort of go, you know, why did you say yes to obviously Felix Cash? I guess you want to be there. You've always said to me you want to be there and you want to mix it the very best. You know, and what better way to do it on a massive platform?
Yeah, without a doubt. You know, DAZN's the biggest platform in boxing at the moment, so you know, we get this opportunity, and I've been in Florida training for 5-6 weeks prior to the phone call. So, you know, I knew I was in shape, and I knew I was going to be in shape come October 8th, especially after getting a good, nice, solid rounds out of the way 2 weeks ago. So, you know, we're ready to fight. Training camp's finished up now completely, obviously. So we fly to London tonight, and then we'll just take over in for the media for fight week.
And I'm sure that's something that you're looking forward to as well, because I guess with any fighter nowadays, it's building social media and things like that. Obviously fighting on a huge platform, being in the presence of Eddie Hearn and stuff like that. You'll sort of be like a schoolboy at some stages going, can I have a picture with you and things like that, you know. But it's something you've worked hard to get. Like every interview we always say we're not going to mention Mexico again, but do you think of last summer you were in Mexico fighting in the torrential rain? The obviously 8th of October this year, you're fighting in London in a massive card. You're going like, where did they get this luck from? But I guess when you work hard, these opportunities come.
Well, yeah, we knew. You know, we had to take those fights for basically nothing, for free. I had to just get those fights and just to keep my career moving through everything that was going on in the world. There's a good handful of fights that I took. You know, I haven't got much from them. So, you know, I've come up I've come up pretty rough enough through the pros, especially the last couple of years, having to take those fights when we got them. And so getting this fight now, a huge opportunity. It's a huge step forward for us now, to get on that platform and just let everybody see how well Conor Coyle can fight and box.
Have you seen much? I guess obviously you're a big boxing fan at the same time when you're not fighting. Have you seen much of Cash in the past? I guess probably on one hand you'd look at it and you're going, you're probably getting at the right time because he probably hasn't been as active. You've been very, very active this year. Do you sort of look into play on the fact that Felix Cash hasn't been as active as yourself this year? So strike while the iron's hot and sort of, put a dent in him because of your activity you've had.
No, well, I know I've been active. Obviously it's been fight number 4 now for this year, and Cash is one of those guys that always keeps himself in shape. He's always in shape. He doesn't look like he's out of the gym ever. So I don't know what he's doing or if he's sparring or whatever. But he was out of the ring 10 months before his last fight. And so I know he's going to be ready, and I know he's going to come with everything. So I can't put anything, like, I just got to be prepared for everything on the night.
You always have to expect his best.
Yeah.
You've wanted this moment. You've wanted to be able to showcase, and put yourself on the world stage. We'd sort of said, in your last interview as well, now's the time to get the big promoters' eyes on you. You couldn't have obviously asked for, I'm not taking any credit in any way because obviously there was no interaction afterwards, but you've obviously landed the dream opportunity. Now, is it a case where Eddie Hearn says in the past that winner stays on? Is this the dream then to land a contract with Matchroom and DAZN?
Well, there is. I don't want to say too much about the contract, but either way, there's a fight afterwards, no matter what. Either way, I just have to go out and look good, obviously, and perform. If I look terrible, nobody's going to bring you back if you don't look good. Mm-hmm. So I just got to go out and do what I do best, and especially go and get that victory anyway.
And I guess for everybody back home as well, we're going to be able to see you fighting at a normal time for once. Normally your fights are anywhere between 2 and 5 a.m. We're going to be able to tune in at prime time Saturday night and watch you. Like, I'm sure obviously your social media always goes mad with every fight, but everybody being able to watch back home at a proper time. It's the perfect time to unveil you to the rest of the world, so to speak.
Yeah, well, this is the real deal now, this fight. Everything's very professional and everything's up to the highest standard, and especially for the fans at home. And as I said, as we said in my previous interview a few weeks ago, I wanted to have these big fights in the UK to build up a fan base, because majority of my career, actually most of my professional career, I've been here in the States fighting. So that's another huge benefits of the outcome of this fight. So I'm glad I got the opportunity.
And I guess that sort of gets you one step closer to your dream as well, becoming world champion. It's as a WBA Intercontinental title in the belt, so it's probably winners probably going to the top 5. You potentially obviously have a world title straight afterwards. But you sort of see this as in some ways your world title opportunity, because if you don't win, the world title goes further away. Do you sort of see this as like a world title?
Without a doubt, yeah. I need to win this fight, otherwise I'll just be set back, another mile. And I don't want to come through all that again. So, I want to take the most out of this fight now, go get the win and move closer towards that world title, because that's obviously the main goal and that's the main outcome.
We're sort of in a crest of a wave at the moment. Obviously, the over 30s are obviously doing everything they can for Irish boxing. Obviously, Eric Donovan landed an EU bout last week. Anto Kakachi becoming IBO world champion. Dennis Hogan fight the same night as you for the IBO world title against Sam Eglinton in Australia. Paddy McCrory's obviously IBO world title coming up in a few weeks' time. You couldn't have picked a better moment to obviously have your big night. It just seems to be September and October are the new success stories for Irish boxing.
Yeah, now Irish boxing booming at the minute. As you says, Donovan getting the EBU title and Kachi getting the IBO world title, and now me next week getting the WBA Intercontinental title, and Dennis Hogan possibly the IBO world title. It's just Irish boxing's just on the rise now, and it's it's good. It's just keep that energy flowing now, and just keep lifting them wins and titles, and just adding it to the Irish boxing legacy.
we're bringing you closer to home as well, I guess. Obviously, the next dream, obviously afterwards, then obviously they have a world title fight in Derry. It's getting closer. You have these dreams and aspirations for years that you could potentially, obviously, you come to the UK, have a big fight, and then all of a sudden, your next fight ends for world title. You just don't know where it could happen. You just have to keep these images in your head of what you want. You know,
Yeah,
a world title fight in Derry. I'm sure you could do a Scott Quigg ring walk from the house.
yeah.
It's got to be going full circle. Obviously, your wet nights in Mexico, and then make your way back home, and the final destination at Derry, lifting the world title. That's the ultimate dream.
That will be a dream, yeah, without a doubt. You just never know. Boxing's so unpredictable anyway, so anything can happen in the boxing game.
And
You just
and
got to ride the waves.
and I guess it wouldn't be fair if obviously didn't ask obviously what you thought of the main event. Obviously, whilst we have you on, I guess it's one of them intriguing fights where father and son have fought. Now it's son v son. Have you sort of been able to see much of obviously the build up of the fight? What do you sort of make of Benn versus Eubank? As I guess it just everybody's intrigued to know how good this fight's going to be.
I'm definitely going to be. I'm definitely going to be excited to watch it, and especially to see the outcome, because at the moment I don't know. I don't have a winner. I have reasons for both fighters of why I think one of them will win, but definitely going to be an interesting fight, and I think it's going to be fireworks. So and they'll be on after me, so I get my fight done and way back to dressing rooms, and probably there's TV out the back. Maybe I'll get to sit and watch it, or even go out the crowd. I don't know. Just have to play it by ear on the night.
Definitely do. I guess your focus is first and foremost in your fight, get your win, and then obviously you probably just been that much of a celebration mode, you'll forget there's any more fights on.
Yeah, probably.
But I guess pretty much I'm similar to yourself. I can't make a decision. It's as if what benefit how both men look on the scales come Friday is will Chris Eubank be at 60%, or is it all just mind games? How will Conor Benn look? At the weight as well. But obviously back to yourself then, obviously, how do you see the fight going? Do you see it being a tough fight? I guess any fight at that sort of level is going to be tough. How do you see the fight playing out?
Well, I said this a few weeks ago. I think if it goes to later rounds, I would call it for Benn. But I think in the earlier rounds, in the first half of the fight, at least anyway, I think Eubank. So, it just depends on how long the fight goes on. Do I see it going 12 rounds? I don't think so. I don't think it'll go 12 rounds for either one of them. So I don't know. I can't give you an answer on who I think is going to win. I think both of them have the benefits of each stable like.
And in regards, obviously, in your own fight, how do you see that sort of? Do you see it being a tough fight? Do you see it sort of maybe later rounds where you sort of taking them to deep waters and and obviously making Felix cashless? Obviously, with you coming out victorious, how do you envisage this sort of fight going? Do you just see it being tough, sort of in the build up to start with?
Yeah. Well, I'm going to expect a tough fight regardless. I can't begin on thinking it's going to be a walk in the park. He's a top 10 fighter in the world. So I'm going to be prepared for anything. So I just go out and do what I do, and if we see openings or if we see flaws in Cass's defense or anything like that, we'll work on what we've been working on to pursue our victory.
I want to finally, obviously, give you obviously a special mention, obviously, to your sponsors. Obviously, sponsors supporting you when you were the other stage around the world, and they're now getting their sort of big moment at the same time because your sponsors have stuck with you through thick and thin when you've been everywhere. This is now their reward that they're getting their big night for the belief they've had in you and throughout your career.
Yeah, definitely. No, I love this. Like the shout out to all my sponsors. Most of them's actually local sponsors back home, and all local bars and restaurants and engineering companies and stuff like that, flooring companies. So, I have to give a shout out to each and every one of them for supporting me especially through the COVID COVID era that we've went through and stuff like that. And now, you know, we've made the big stage now, so everything's starting to pay off.
Definitely is. Well, look, I know. Obviously, you're in the middle of packing when we were getting this interview arranged. Obviously, we hope you have a safe flight. Obviously, to the UK. You obviously enjoy the build up in fight week.
Yeah.
And obviously, in 7 days' time on the DAZN pay-per-view, and the new.
And the new. That's it.
All right, Conor. Cheers. Take care.
Bye,
Thanks
Steve.
for your time.
Thank you, buddy.
Cheers. Take care. Thanks. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.